Okay. And let's start. So welcome everybody to EstBAN December pitch event. Today we have quite a busy schedule ahead of us. We have two EstBAN members representing two VC funds. First of all, Siim Teller, who's quite fresh, I think half a year being EstBAN member, and Siim is going to tell a bit about his story, but also about Lemon Stand VC Fund. And also, I hope Tim has been able to join us as well and talking about YOLO investments that was previously Vereni group or Vereni investments. So I will afterwards look whether I find Tim from the crowd as well. Then we have a small community advertisement break with the Biotopia project that I promised Peter and Kelly, who are good acquaintance of mine, to share their story and share their ideas on science, technology, and engineering arts and combining this. So there would be a 5-minute commercial break for you. And then 6 startup pitches previously selected by EstBAN members and also EstBAN management like staff members. So 5-minute pitches, 5-minute questions, answers. I would really love to have all your questions in the chat. But if it's really burning and bleeding, then you can also unmute yourself and get the question out live. And then we will use the Zoom breakout rooms for networking with startups. And in order to get into the breakout rooms, all the startups have to join the breakout rooms basically first. There are the breakout rooms with their names, and all the investors in the group here have availability to choose the breakout rooms. Well, some news from my side, EstBAN seasonal news. So I'm really happy to welcome you all to a fire chat online tomorrow, starting at 3:30 in Facebook Live, and there will be 4 Estonian startup ecosystem main pillars or main makers of the startup ecosystem: Startup Estonia, the Estonian Founders Society, EstBAN, and SBCA, having a fire chat about the past and the future and the dreams and the challenges, etc., etc. So Ivo from our side is going to represent EstBAN ideas. So I will share the link to the event here in the chat, but also this is in your emails already with EstBAN news or EstBAN letters. As well, the New Nordic Leads program is up and running with the first batch, and I really want to thank all the trainers and all the mentors who have been supporting the startups. At the moment, together with FIBAN, we have over 30 startups in the batch. The pitchings for those startups will be held in January, and the EstBAN one will be on 28th of January. And more information about the New Nordic Leads program you can find from our website, which is newNordicLeads.com. And the second batch will already kick off in February. If you're interested to mentor or interested to join as a startup, then please go ahead. Then Startup Day is postponed into August. So no big startup festival in Tartu in January due to the COVID situation. And the EstBAN Syndicate will be postponed as well. So we are not going to open the call at the moment for the investors to join in with a 5,000 euro ticket, but this will be postponed into August. And also in between, hopefully in May, we have Latitude 59, which will have the syndicate as well. And for all the EstBAN members, shiny, lucky star news annual statistics questionnaire will be sent out in January. I hope that you all are waiting this forward, and will be happy to share all the investments that you made to make EstBAN 2020 statistics really like glossy and shiny, and happy to share all the news with the network. Of course, our true partners always here on board, and happy to see Maria from UpLegal here joining us today as well. And hopefully some KPMG members. I haven't seen you here yet, but hopefully you are here. Okay, without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Siim from Lemonade Stand to give a very short brief overview of the fund, but also of your own personal story or way. How did you come to this? So let me give you a co-host rights so you can share your screen. And you can unmute yourself, and let's hope this works.
Hi everyone. Anu, how many minutes do I have?
I would say 10 plus questions.
Let's go. Right. I'll start with those slides and then I'll show a little bit. So first about myself. Hi everyone. I have met a few of you. My name is Siim. I've been away from Estonia for 10 years. That's my excuse for not having met all of you face to face properly. And as to the background, I've been in the startup world for 20 odd years, starting with everyday.com a long time ago. That's where I met the original Skype engineers and Toivo and others, and ended up in Skype, and that's probably the best known startup in the CV. Estonians also know about GrabCAD, but after that I moved to London to work with Passion Capital portfolio companies, and from there moved to Berlin 6 years ago, and now COVID kind of sped up some decisions. So in the summer I moved back to Estonia, and but let's say that COVID hasn't been very helpful in terms of growing the network either in Estonia or in the Baltics. That is also my investment focus area. And my introduction to sort of startup investing options and all that stuff started at Skype, where I think I can confidently say that most people didn't understand what the options were, but when eBay bought it, we realized this is something very cool. And my first investment was done while I was in the UK through crowd equity sites. That's where I started playing with small tickets. I have one failed investment from that time, and a few still brewing. Two with quite good exit potential. That was over almost 10 years ago, so it's been quite a long time waiting. And I've continued with crowd equity, crowdfunding, both on the UK platforms and now on Funderbeam as well, which I quite like because of the secondary or the aftermarket option there. But in 2018, we started with Lemonade Stand, and that is a business angel fund. So it's not a typical VC fund. We have only 3 LPs. One is myself, one is Kaarel Rahu, and then Kristjan Rahu. And we focus on the Baltic and East European founders. Anu, actually, you've asked to explain why I joined the EstBAN as well. So when I started with the Lemonade Stand, and a few people in my network found out that I'm now on the investment side of things, I started actually seeing quite a lot of deal flow. And for a little bit, I thought that that's good enough. But then I realized that especially moving back after 10 years and wanting to get into the Lithuanian scene as well, I need an additional place where to grow my network and see more deals. And EstBAN was the logical choice. Quite a few of the VCs I know, angel investors were already part of it, so it was good to ask about their experience. And I was super happy to hear a number of them commenting that it's been getting better in the last year or two. And that was when I also very briefly bumped into Ivo in Lithuania during TechChill. I don't know if he even remembers that 2-minute chat there, but that prodded me to reach out and put in my application. And so far it's been good. I think there sort of what I want to see more is probably just activity over deals, commenting on deals, sharing deals on Slack. And I know I haven't been very active on this myself as well. I think there's some stigma about what's okay to share, what not, whether I should ask the founders if it's okay to share. I've always tried to do that. So Vula, which I shared recently, I checked in with them first before doing that. But I'd just like to see that more. And echoing what I heard from Ivo as well during one chat is that just a simpler way to pulling together a syndicate, that when this full Vula thing comes and their minimum ticket is 50K, like how can we very quickly spin this up, because it's probably a deal that's gonna go away very quickly. And I'm also thinking about joining EstBAN. Same thing, to start seeing more deals from there. The plan was to go to events in Lithuania, build up a network, and then of course this year has been kind of shitty for building anything that new. Okay, then on to Lemonades, and I'll share my screen. I don't have slides, however, I do have. Actually, I will not share my screen because I have a new computer and I need to tinker with the settings. Anywho, if you go to lemonades.stan.e, you can see the portfolio and some of the themes there. So we're an early stage fund. We do mostly pre-seed seed stage deals, and we have sort of a micro fund to the volume of 5 million euros at the moment, and the plan is to do 30 investments after that. Now we're well on our way. The ticket size has varied from 30K to 300K, with around 100K being the average. And the plan is to invest this fund in 2 to 3 years. We don't necessarily have the typical VC pressure to exit in 10 years, but we're still setting that as a goal for ourselves. And when it comes to sectors, we've done 20 investments so far, and the biggest sectors have been insurance, proptech, fintech, but also industry 4.0, or sort of digitizing manufacturing businesses, cloud infrastructure. Now, the most recent investment that will be announced tomorrow will be in computer vision field as well. And majority of these investments have been in Estonia. There's one Lithuanian team, one Bosnian Ukrainian team that is set up in Vienna in Austria, one Croatian team that is set up in London. So we are looking outside as well, but kind of when you consider the number of unicorns per capita in Estonia, it's almost foolish to invest anywhere else. And it's too early to talk about success stories. Maybe the closest to that, what we have is few of the portfolio companies have really seen the acceleration due to COVID, the working from home trend, and yeah, remote work trend. Veriff is one of those, of course, in Estonia, but also Lithuanian Interactio, which is helping large events to be translated into any number of languages. So they converted European Parliament and European Commission as clients in 3 weeks from the first email to the contract signed, which never happens. It usually takes like 12 months plus. And I'm also asked to share a fun story. I think the story is more about the general approach to my investing. So I can claim to be a remote investor before it was cool, because I was in Berlin, and most of the investments I did was into Estonian early stage startups. Then, frankly, I hadn't seen most of the founders that I invested in. Only now during the latitude, I see like Karel from Veriff and David from Dashboard and all these other people. So that was fun seeing them after a year of making the investment. And yeah, what I'm looking for from EstBAN, as I said, just a network. So I'm happy to share my background as a marketing and sales guy. That's what I focus on with my investments as well. But also now that I've seen hundreds and hundreds of deals, looked into a few of them quite deeply. I think we have a good setup with Trinity, who's our legal as well, just on due diligence and deal docs and so forth. So always happy to trade notes, and if anyone has a cool deal, happy to co-invest as well. And one thing I forgot about Focus, that as is very typical in Estonia, B2B only, so we don't do consumer deals. I think that's it. I am like 7 minutes in. If anyone has a quick question. No, actually I'm 9 minutes and 27 seconds in.
I love your timing. So anyone, if you have any questions to Siim, I see that he's very active on Slack. And hereby, I would really love all of you to be as active as Siim on Slack. Just have this communication up there. If you have any questions at the moment, then feel free to share those in the chat. But maybe just a small question, Siim, what has been the latest, the most promising startup that you have seen?
That I've seen.
Or met or talked.
Oh man. I think there are a few very interesting, maybe I won't name a startup, but there are some very interesting new teams coming out of both TransferWise and Veriff. Some senior people have left, and they are now doing first steps in stealth mostly. So I'm quite excited about talking to them and learning about what they're doing, potentially helping either just with my experience or maybe investing some point as well. So I think that we're going to see a sort of a new family of startups coming out of these two companies, but also Pipedrive, the more mature, where there's been secondary exits, and hopefully some angel investors as well.
I hope so too. Thank you very much, Siim, for sharing your thoughts today. I saw that Tim was running in here as well. So
I made it back from the physio, yes.
Yeah, what a quick guy you are. Well, so maybe the word to YOLO Investments, as we already have had some good time with your name. So maybe Tim, you can take it away if you have some slides. You already are a co-host, so you can share the slides if you'd like.
It's coming up now. Hi, everybody. We're probably the biggest VC in Estonia you've never heard of. So we've accidentally kept a very, very low profile. I've been in Estonia 18 years now. Came here in 2002. And primarily we've been in the gaming industry, working with online casinos and sportsbooks. Basically in Estonia, we run a lot of the back office services for different gaming licenses around the world. We do have an Estonian license as well for some of our brands. We've had a lot of success with being the biggest Bitcoin online casino and sportsbook around the world. And recently, the last 2 years, we sponsored Watford in the EPL. They went down to the championship, so we sponsored Southampton and also Arsenal this year as well, and Flamengo over in Brazil. So it's fairly large sports books. I think we're the 27th biggest gaming company in the world on the recent numbers coming out. Based on that and the success we've had, we've obviously made a few euros on the side, and we decided to expand our portfolio and our ecosystem and derive a lot of the revenues we've put into a fund to invest into that ecosystem. Predominantly, it was basically set up as an internal fund to invest into slot games or slot studios, into some banks we're doing recently. We've invested in 2 banks, insurance companies, fintech ideas, KYC platforms, insurance, trading engines for sports books, DFS products in India, a sports book in South America, another one in Australia. And we've also now opened, we were based in Malta using a SICAV fund. I didn't really like the bureaucracy down there. And when I was told I couldn't come to an investment committee meeting in sandals and a t-shirt, I decided would move that whole, all the funds to Estonia with a lot more liberal regulatory framework to work within, where we can focus on actually delivering value rather than filling out forms. So we've now got a team of 8 people here in Tallinn working on the fund. We've got 4 funds, each with 100 million in each of them. And I think our assets under management is around 170 million. Is that about right at the moment? And that's over the last 3 years. We have one part of our philosophy is that we want to invest into one Estonian startup every quarter to obviously support the local infrastructure and the local environment as well. But predominantly it's in Malta, it's UK, it's Asia, Latin America, and all around the world. In terms of our Fund 1, I'm going to get Everett to talk a little bit about our gaming fund that we're doing.
Hi from me. Just a brief intro. I'm Everett. I've joined YOLO team about a month ago in the capacity of investment analyst / portfolio manager. So myself, I have background in analytics, specifically for the iGaming industry. So my focus area is to help the companies that we have in the portfolio as much as we can from the perspective of business analytics. So to achieve this, we have actually direct data integrations with our top priority investments. So we have like full access to all of their data. And based on this, we can do multiple things like starting from just regular monthly reports or business reviews. On the other hand, perhaps some advice on predictive modeling or feature engineering or stuff like this that we can do because we have access to this very granular, let's say, transactional data. So moving on to the Fund 1, so which is it's the gaming fund, but it covers a lot of different verticals across the iGaming industry. So at one hand, we have operators there, such as Nostra Gamers or Coolbet is in there. As you can see, it's a bit outdated tech. About a month ago, you might have heard from the news they were acquired by GAN for around 150 million. And on the other end of the spectrum, there is slot game developers such as Kaleta or Kalamba or Green Shades. And then where it all comes together, there's also Hub 88, which is an aggregator. So like a middleman between an operator and a slot game developer. And based on this thing, there's 2 things that for me are really cool in here. First one is the, as Tim mentioned, the ecosystem impact. So because the companies cover that many verticals, they're also using each other's services a lot, and we can make a lot of introductions and to support these companies creating that whole ecosystem. And the second part is multiple companies in there have grown from the Coin Gaming Group hackathons. So this means there is kind of an element of exclusivity that for us to have access to these companies and these really promising projects.
One of the good things here as well, so there are 6 slot companies in there. It's a bit like a Playtech. You guys might know Playtech. We can now benchmark anonymously what the KPIs are across the industry, and we can go to OneTouch and say, your cost of development compared to the other 5 companies is 30% too high. So that's something you need to work on, or your distribution or your session length is much greater than the benchmark. We can really set up a green, amber, red flag system on what are the important KPIs and what they need to work on to help them grow based on KPI analysis. Moving into Fund 2, Jan, do you want to talk a little bit about our FinTech fund, please?
Yes, briefly from myself, I joined Tim's VC project nearly 3 years ago as an analyst, and then gradually moved over to portfolio manager and board member. Moving on to the FinTech fund, it's effectively by and large the very same thing that Evert covered. It's growing our ecosystem, but from the financial point of view, because some of the companies serve the bigger group, and we see tremendous leverage if we can integrate more fintech and gaming combined. Some of the investments there are not that actively managed. There are some projects which are publicly listed companies, but we see tremendous growth, whether their vision, strategy, or the management execution power is extraordinary. So we have faith in people, and it's our vote of trust that we want to support them along this way. So, but again, it's a blended mix of assets. There is the biggest gainers there are related to serving the ecosystem back. So
moving money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that said, this is briefly the other side of like our focus area.
The third fund we had, it's 100% funded by the general partners, and that's Coin Gaming internal hackathon project. So we've got a travel agency we've set up, and we're building within Slack the ability to book your travel, but then have a very seamless procedure to issue tickets, to go straight into our accounting software, to get paid from our banks and so forth. And it's a Slack bot that we could deploy to a TransferWise or a Pipedrive in the future. If not, we're happy to sort of use it internally because we save money by not having to use external travel agents. And the fourth fund, it's again a wholly internal one, which is land-based casinos around the world and online studios to complement that land-based studio. So that's another one. We are looking at a fifth fund in 2021, which will be focused on Japanese and Taiwanese-based investments. We're doing a lot over in that area. Again, whether it be in gaming or fintech, something around that area that we're working with a partner to set that one up. In terms of limited partners, the first two funds, we are open for limited partners coming in. I'm not sure of our minimum ticket. I think it's around 100 or 250,000 euros. But we're looking to raise up to 50 million from the gaming industry. That won't be a problem to raise that money. But if we don't, we're happy to fund it ourselves and just use these vehicles to progress these funds forward. And that is what we're doing at YOLO. And as I have to say, deploy on a Friday, YOLO.
Sounds great. Thank you guys for joining. And before we give the word to startups, maybe a question from my side on more related with EstBAN. So Tim and your team, what might be the benefits that you're looking from EstBAN, or what's the ask? You can see here is like 60 investors, or basically 60 investors here. So what might be your ask, and what might be your offer, like back to the network?
So I think there's a number of different things we can do here. One of them, we're obviously being based in Estonia, we want to support the Estonian startup community. And that's why we do have a very strong remit to invest into 4 Estonian startups every year. So we're looking for deal flow always. We're not so much of a VC that will just join a syndicate with a $5,000 ticket. We like to come in for 100,000 or up to $500,000. Normally, we're normally 500 to 5 million in terms of our ticket sizes, but we can do smaller ones if need be, if it's for the right product in the right area. And we're looking for something which fits into our ecosystem, whether it be gaming, whether it be block tech, whether it be fintech, something around that area there. In terms of EstBAN, we're more than happy to come and tell our story further when we can actually get together in person. And, you know, if people are interested in being active and joining our journey, then, you know, the door's open and more than happy to have a chat, whether it be as a limited partner or even, you know, working within our structure. We're always looking for smart people to join us. And the other one would be, we have an investor day next summer, and we've got some really, some very, very interesting entrepreneurs from all over the world. Maybe there's something we can do there to sort of bring different perspectives to Estonian startups on how it's happening in Taiwan or Japan or Brazil or Nigeria, where we're doing one in active investment at the moment. So sharing that knowledge of what we've learned or what our invested companies, entrepreneurs have learned along the pathways as well on the journey.
Sounds great, Yolo. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to have you in EstBAN as well. So, as promised, now a very small advertisement break from ecosystem partners. So, a good friend of mine, Kelly, asked to share their new initiative, which is called. Oh my God, I already forgot that. So Biotopia or a Biotopia project. So Peter and Kelly over there, hi. So let's put your 5 minutes running, and you can share your slides. And let's hear you out what you have to offer for EstBAN investors.
Hello, my name is Peter Lauritz. I'm an artist and visionary, and she's Kelly Turman, our project manager. And we are introducing this new series of conferences called Biotopia because there is nothing more urgent than environmental problems nowadays. Our pressure on biosphere has exceeded a reasonable limit. The natural processes are out of balance and produce more and more unpleasant surprises. And at the same time, we are the first generation in history that are capable to make a change. Biotopia, so it is a series of events and conferences that brings international competence to Estonia and encourages cooperation between different fields of biosciences and transhumanism. We cannot solve the stacking ecological problems by ourselves. We need an ally who is a direct beneficiary like ourselves, but whose capabilities would exceed our own enormously. So there is absolutely no other candidate than the biosphere itself, because forests and ocean flora are the best regulators of the atmosphere. If we consider ourselves an intelligent species, then we have to achieve cooperation with them, learn their science systems, and start negotiations. Communicating with other life forms is tricky. Without AI, we probably won't get very far. And in addition, we need a new ecology of knowledge, a unifying approach that integrates cultural, natural, and exact sciences. In the symbiosis of arts and sciences, a new understanding can emerge. In Estonia, the exhibition Biotopia in 1995 was the first to bring science and art together in the exhibition hall. And only 2 years later, in 1997, Suzanne Simard proved that all plants in a forest ecosystem do exchange both information and nutrients through a mycorrhiza that binds root together. She named this supergrid the Wood Wide Web. During past 25 years, there has been a huge paradigm shift in biology. Recent discoveries in the field of interspecies communication and ecological superstructures have inverted our understanding how the world works. Did you know that plants use the same neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin as humans, even though they do not have neurons? Very little of this knowledge has reached daily spheres in Estonia. Our IT capabilities are top-notch, but our environmental policy is self-colonizing. At the same time, the world's top universities are racing to effectively apply new insights from biorobotics to agricultural technology, food industry, etc. Architecture of Viimistuse Conference Center suits very well for spontaneous side events and micro meetings. And for us, the presence of local startups and investors is very important so that emerging new ideas could start to develop. In addition, Utopia creates an online environment that brings together new inventions of biotechnologies and transhumanism. It will be a kind of grid between researchers and artists and provides tools for finding partners for research and business. Now I give word to Kelly.
Yes. So we have already used all the Fs we could find. At the moment, we have engaged 10,000 euros, but it's clearly not enough. As all of the bigger grant supports, Estonian Enterprise and the Environment Investment Center will be paid out just before or after the conference. And we are having a cash flow problem at the moment. Also, engaging investment money will give us extra capital for after conference, which is crucial for future activities, because we have plans for 5 years, and otherwise we would be ending up with zero and start up building the budget all over again. And now the offer. We are talking about, of course, this philanthropic impact investment, aiming to spread the pure and not biased information about biodiversity and its possibilities to you and also to our startup community. It will be like a ground base for future impact investments projects in Estonia. We are basically inviting you to be a part of our journey for 5 years for 5,000 euros. We are also accepting investors teams, so you may pair up. And I want to add that we are not only interested in money, we also like to have mentoring to engage impact investment part into the contact and share information within the startup community. This is our board today. We basically have all the competences needed curating the content, but there is one spot for investor/entrepreneur who would like to help us bringing in the impact investment part. This is our team. I would like to mention we have been working together only for 2 months. So due to that short time, our pitch might be not so great yet, but I can assure you that give us next 2 or 3 months and our concept and strategy, including engaging partners, stakeholders, and all that will be grown a lot bigger. So if this is something for you that you are interested in, then please contact me and Peter will take you out for coffee and we'll tell you more about it, because 5 minutes is clearly not enough for us to share the whole picture. Thank you. Do we have also question and answer time?
No, you don't.
No. Okay. Worth to ask.
Yes, worth to ask. So thank you very much for sharing the idea. So it was a small commercial break with some philanthropic opportunities, and being more green is something that we have to pay attention now everyday life. So without further ado, let's get to the startups, and let me just have the startup pitching order up here. And so that we know who to expect. So the startups will have 5 minutes of pitching time and then 5 minutes of questions and answers. And I would really love all the investors to pay very full attention to the startups and ask all the tough questions that you would actually ask while you would be in the audience here. You can write the questions into the chat, and the startups can follow the chat by themselves, or I can just write or ask the questions out loud. So anyways, investors, you're very welcome to have the questions to the startups. And first of all, there will be Baltic, then Taut, then Shade Shares, Adovinci, QPage, and Swash. So exactly 6 startups, 10 minutes per startup, and we will have this done in an hour. And after the startups, we will have the Zoom rooms opened. Every startup has their own room, and investors are very welcome to join choose the startup room and then ask questions, discuss, mentor, help, whatever you would like to do in the separate rooms. And we will be probably ending around 6 p.m. So first of all, Baltic, are you ready? Mick, I gave you also opportunity to share the screen. I will stop mine. And Mick, if you're there, then let's hear you out. You can
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. And let me start my screen sharing.
There you go. Let me grab a phone to get your 5 minutes going, please.
So you see the screen?
Yes, respect the time as well. And 5 minutes goes now.
Okay, here we go then. So hello, I'm Mick. I'm CEO and co-founder, and I'm presenting our company called Baltic. Advanced technologies are increasingly adopted for precision farming because of the rising necessity to maximize production while preserving the soil's health. Our solution helps farmers closer towards sustainable agriculture by measuring data from underneath the soil. The climate is heating up, and according to the United Nations, we have only 60 harvests left if we keep using the same practices. The European Union has acknowledged the problem and started taking action by accepting the Green Deal and allocating major funds for this matter. The deal states that the use of mineral fertilizer should be reduced by 20%. Reducing fertilizer application by 20% means that the amount of greenhouse gas reduction is equivalent to 6 coal-fired power plants run for a year. Reducing fertilizer application by 20% for a farmer of the size of 500 hectares means savings of 20,000 euros annually. The population of the world is constantly rising, and the same is for the need for agricultural production. At the same time, everybody has to cope with stricter environmental restrictions. Farmers' margins are tight, and currently they are applying fertilizers based on experience and without real data from underneath the soil. Our solar-powered probes monitor real-time soil characteristics and present an actionable insight to the farmer. Measured data is being transferred via IoT network to our database and is presented in our web application. Most sensors in the market can measure only soil's humidity and temperature. In addition, a Baltic can present soil's nutrient level that no other system can. With this data, the farmer can make more precise decisions regarding fertilizer timing and usage. Our platform helps farmers to save money, reduce their carbon footprint, and improve field efficiency by applying the best possible agricultural practice. Your yield increase, cost savings, and optimized fertilizer use can be achieved by correct timing of field activities based on our data. We have compared our service with 5 of the closest products on the market. We can see that none of them offer suggestions or actionable insights to the farmer. Our main strength is the data we deliver and explanation what can they do with this information. Currently, we are focusing on conventional farmers who use mineral fertilizer. Non-conventional farming is organic, and we are investigating the benefits where we can be useful to them as well. Market potential is calculated that for maximum effect, the farmer should use 1 sensor for 200 hectares of land. And for serviceable, obtainable market, the goal is to achieve 20% market share in the listed markets. And from there, we can project that the annual revenue would be 16.8 million euros. Here is a list of markets for the coming year. The main foreign market is Denmark, where precision farming is widely adopted. Plus, in some areas, the government has already restricted the use of mineral fertilizers to a certain amount. Estonia is our home market, and we are starting collaborating with eAgronom for sales to their existing customers in Latvia and Poland. In Finland, we already have contacts with 2 major farmers who are interested in doing a pilot season with us. Sales strategy is currently by field sales. When we get enough visibility in the market, we can explore inside sales possibility. Target customers are farmers between 500 to 2,000 hectares. These farmers' costs on fertilizers are big, but they can still optimize their activities in the fields. Sales process itself from lead to applying sensors has been within 30 days. We have conducted a test season with 15 sensors over Estonia, where we got good feedback and made changes in the product according to that. Sales is ongoing, and so far we have installed 20 units to paying customers. This is our pricing model. 1 sensor for 200 hectares, monthly fee is 100 euros per unit plus installment fee. We have already tried different pricing models, and this model has proven to be working best. Currently, the unit costs 500 euros, but scaling up production, we can reduce the cost up to 50%. We are asking for 70,000 euros equity investment and a 1.3 million pre-money valuation. Our pre-seed investor has committed to leading the round in 180K. This will give us runway of 18 months, and we are targeting 40,000 MRR by the end of the round. Our team consists of diverse people from different industries. I am a civil engineer by education and have been leading teams in construction area for 8 years. Tiit is an inventor and scientist who has extensive knowledge about soil and electronics. Eve has worked in the IT sector in China and Estonia for 11 years. Anu is experienced in business and software development. Teet is our consultant and agronomist with experience in crop growing for more than 20 years. In the future, we plan to integrate related data to help the agriculture sector make data-driven decisions in order to use our resources sustainably with minimal carbon footprint. Thank you, and looking forward to your questions.
Mick, thank you very much. Happy to see hardware startup here as well. So as we know that hardware is hard. So what is the biggest challenge at the moment for you guys?
For us is, let's say, the sales process itself, as we are changing the way the farmers think. And because they have been doing this fertilization application from their own experience and how they have been doing this for years and years, for hundreds of years. And we are changing the way they think. And so far, this is actually, they are adopting this really well.
We have a question from Heiner that is Agronom your partner or competitor?
Agronom is our partner. We are collaborating with sales as the thing that they do. They're offering sensors as well, but this is two completely different sensors that the data is different, and we can partner up with them as well as we can partner up with other let's say big farming software companies who offer this solution. So yeah, we see them as a partner, and we already are collaborating with them.
Question from mail is, what key intellectual property does the company have? Patents pending, or so on?
We have the sensor. We have a useful model for this sensor, as this sensor has been developed by Tiit, who is my father as well, and he has been doing the research for 30 years. So he has developed it. There is a useful model in Estonia, and we have discussed with lawyers about this patent thing, and we have come up with the conclusion that the best way to keep this is as like a business secret. So we have a useful model, not a patent, because patent becomes like public information when you get the patent to this.
Sure. Question from Heiner again. How does the one sensor represent 200 acres?
Because it shows the level of, let's say, the nutrient level that we measure. Besides the other things, the level is similar if you use the same kind of practice. Of course, the 200 hectares, one sensor of 200 is like an average, but this is because if you have different cultures in different areas and different a little bit soil types, then this can vary. But this is the thing that has come up with the pilot season, that the 200 hectares is reasonable to make decisions based on that information about this area.
The question from Victor, do you have any examples of exits in the field? How do they usually work?
No, I don't have any examples, but what we see about the exit in this field is that we grow this platform, we get enough users, and probably the exit would be to like a major all-in-one agriculture, like a platform provider. Let's say maybe John Deere or the other big ones that have these kinds of softwares.
And my question was to do with your financing round. So at the moment you're raising 70,000 euros, and the previous investor already have put 130 in, or is this like, are you putting a round of 200K together, or is this like, how does the round look like exactly?
The round altogether would be 250K, the pre-seed investor has committed 180 to this round.
Okay.
So we need to raise additional 70K.
And do you have any specific wishes on smart money or ticket size? Like, how do you see that?
Ticket size minimum would be 10, would be maybe reasonable, just for the cap table. But this is not like an official requirement. We'll see how things develop. And what we would be looking in investors would be that could be of benefit to us, as what we see in the near future would be entering foreign markets, scaling up sales would be the main areas where we would need like consultancy or help anyway.
All right, Mick, thank you very much. At this time, you will have an opportunity for networking in the breakout rooms after all the pitches are ended. Thank you very much. So, well, next up is Taut, and I hope, Kalvis, that you're ready. You can unmute yourself and start sharing the screen.
Give me a second, please.
Sure.
I know it shows that host disabled participant screen sharing.
It seems that, let me just, let me remove and let me make you co-host again. Let's try this once again.
Yes, now I can share my screen.
All good.
I think you see it now.
Yes, if you could go, yes, that's great. You can start.
So, hi everyone. Again, I'm Kalvis. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Thought, and we're the fastest way for teachers to give feedback. Workload is teachers' enemy number one. They work exhausting hours in front of the class, and when they go home, their workday continues, and mostly with two things: planning and giving feedback. On average, teacher spends 28 hours every month on repetitive feedback, meaning they give similar or identical comments on hundreds and thousands of papers. And it's one of the main reasons why 40% of new teachers quit their job in their first 5 years. And that's why we made Thought. It's a web app for 5 times faster feedback on student work. The process is very simple. A teacher creates an assignment, then students will do the work in PDF or on paper, in which case they will open Thought app on their phone and upload a photo of their finished work. Teachers then review it and give feedback with marking and commenting tools directly onto the student work. They also track their time saved and feedback efficacy. Students then learn from feedback whenever and wherever they like. We save teachers time with reusable comments. So instead of manually rewriting comments on repeating mistakes, they just drag and drop it and move on. We start as a standalone platform integrated with Google Classroom, making Thought secure and more accessible for teachers. Well, we are not the first digital feedback tool for application for teachers. The existing ones are either too complex or do not save time for them. We launched Thought in October and have 3,000 installs on Google Workspace Marketplace right now. We are in 4 active pilot discussions. We target K-12 teachers and schools in the United States and United Kingdom, where they have very well documented teacher workload problem. And together, these markets combine with 160,000 schools. Thought has a freemium model for teachers. In order to access student progress data and all features, they or their schools can pay a monthly or annual subscription fee. Eventually, our goal is to sell to schools and districts. Right now, we are offering them paid pilots for $500 per 6 months, and look to do annual plans with them after that, priced at $2,000 per school annually. So in October, we launched Thought version 1.0 with virtual classrooms, learning path, and analytics, and we'll have our version 1.1 in early next year. We will expand in analytics and add new assignments and comment formats and provide reports for parents. Teachers need a product that they can adapt quickly and really helps them. And this is where we have an advantage with our vast experience in design and engineering and business experience to put schools out in schools globally. We're working to reach 10,000 euros in MRR in 12 months. And currently we're rounding out our pre-seed round of 85,000 euros in total. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Sure, I would be happy to have investors' questions in the chat. I have the same question for you as well. So what's the biggest challenge at the moment? Is it the sales?
We're working on that exactly from before this call. Also, we are also active in Startup Wise Guys Accelerator right now, and this is where we get additional, so to say, training and help on working out those sales processes. I would say the biggest challenge right now is what we are trying to still figure out is how to increase the user engagement on our platform. And we are still also doing a round of interviews now. We're looking into further ways how we can make this feedback more powerful and work on communication between teachers, schools, and students, which is also a big topic for the schools, especially right now, but also before the virus or this year that we know.
Not any questions in the chat yet, but I'm sorry if I missed. But what are the next markets that you'll head and you'll go?
Right now, we are targeting United States and United Kingdom, based on. So yeah, we have also integration with Google Classroom, which is by far the most popular learning management system in these markets. But most importantly, these markets especially have very well documented teacher workload problems. On top of that, also these learning outcomes, where a lot of experts are seeing that communication and this feedback is the exact reason for that. And right now, teachers just don't have time to provide it in many cases. So yeah, these are our markets. But overall, the problem is very global, and we definitely have opportunities past these markets as well.
We have a question from Victor, who also maybe seemed to miss the plans of pricing. So could you just go over the pricing plans as well, and who's the payer, who's the customer who pays?
Eventually, we want to sell to schools and districts. So district is this like you could think of like a cluster of schools in the specific regions in the United States. But right, so yeah, that is our goal. And right now we are selling to them pilots for 6 months, price per $500 per school. And but after that, we look to do annual sales with schools price $2,000 per school. But at the same time, we also taking the best practice also from other edtech companies. We to increase the user base, we are also offering paid plans for teachers, and in our target markets, which is UK and US, it is for them not that unusual that they pay for a tool that really helps them themselves. So we are trying to touch the both B2C and B2B, but our expectations and goals in long term are more with B2B, of course.
Also, clear from Victor. So, what are the terms for your? You probably already mentioned, but the terms of the deal. So, valuation goal and so on. You can just go back with the slides to your ask. And
ask slide. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, we're right now rounding out our pre-seed round. We have 55,000 from these 85,000 right now fixed or allocated.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal is with this amount, we will extend our runway to approximately 12 months. And in that time, we are working to reach 10,000 euros in MRR.
Do you have a valuation cleared out already, or is this something to leave into the breakout rooms?
Yeah, right now in this round, our pre-money valuation is 600,000 euros.
All right, Kalvis, it seems that there are no more questions, and I hope that there is a lot of interest in breakout rooms towards your startup.
Yeah, I'll be there, so investors can join. I'll be looking forward to. Thank you all for now.
Thank you. So next up, I have a ShadeShare. I somehow lost them from my site. So if the representative of ShadeShare company is here with us, then please unmute yourself and say hi. But if not, then we would be moving. Oh,
yes,
there is a hi. There is a hi. Let me see if I can find you.
Okay.
Oh, you're with a wrong name. So
yes, yes. The reason,
hello, Jan Erik.
yes, it's Sari here with the face and Jan Erik's laptop. So that's the little confusion.
That's the case. So okay, let me make Jan Erik as a co-host so you can share your screen.
Yes.
All right. So let's try whether you can share the screen and the slides appear.
Let's have a look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, if full screen could be done, that would be great. And we'll put your 5 minutes up.
Okay, I'm on. Good afternoon, everyone. At ShadeShares, we make this world of ours a better place, one pair of sunglasses at a time. We do this through sustainability, meaning that we make these wooden sunglasses, also making sure that all the material that we use burdens our world the minimum amount. We also plant a tree on our land in Kenya per each glass pair manufactured and sold. So far, we have planted over 20,000 trees. We have 2 full-time employees there who are doing this planting every day. So as we speak, we are creating carbon sinks on everyday basis. We are also doing good by training and employing former slum youths from Kariobangi and Korogocho slums at our own workshop in Nairobi, Kenya. We do this together with World Vision, meaning that they do the initial training. After that, ShadeShares employs them. We started in 2018 with 12 young adults. At the moment, we have 20 people working at our workshop. They all come with very similar rough slum youth backgrounds. All our female workers have sold themselves to survive. We have stories with gangs, weapons, drugs, teenage pregnancies, HIV, the whole picture what slums do have. These people who are in our team, they are not only workers who make these wonderful sunglasses, they are part of ShadeShares team, and with them we are going to make this a global brand. The visionary behind ShadeShares is a man called Jan Erik Westergaard. He chose me as the skipper for this boat. So my name is Sari Kantipol and I am the general manager of ShadeShares. The last 2 years has been a lot proving to ourselves and the rest, making impossible possible. A lot of people said that we can't make sunglasses. I can tell you that the first pair, the 10th pair and the 100th pair didn't even resemble sunglasses. Now they do. Now our glasses are so trendy, so good quality that, for example, the optician of the year here in Finland, Timo Juurinen, said that quality and trendiness wise, they don't shy off compared to the best brands around the world. People said that we can't sell them. That has been proven wrong as well. I've sold only here in Finland in the B2B market close to 10,000 pairs customized glasses to different size Finnish companies. We have also managed to attract celebrities, influencers, brands who have given their name, their face, their reputation to this startup called ShadeShares. We've also done fraction and penetration into the B2C market, We've decided at early stages that we don't want to be a small company concentrating on the B2B market. We want to be a global consumer brand. Before COVID time, we did the test runs in the market, attended expos, festivals, events and happenings. Once we be able to tell the story, our hit rate is really, really high, because on the top of getting a classy and trendy pair of sunglasses, people also fall in love with our story. Today, and more so in the future, we want to be a solid and profitable company with a value base and a unique story. We want to be disruptors in this fashion industry by being extremely transparent and concrete in our actions. We believe that today's and tomorrow's consumers are looking for brands like ShadeShares. They want to make a statement by not only buying a pair of sunglasses, they want to be part of our story and do all this good that we do along being also a proper business. Yes, we are hungry for growth. We want to develop and streamline our production. We want to develop our global sales channels, whether it's finding more agents, more resellers, whether it's developing our own web store. For that reason, we are looking for guys like you. At the moment, we are looking for 250,000 euros with 1 million valuation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was an impressive pitch. With a very strong story. I would be happy to see all the questions from investors into the chat, but my main one would be, so how do you offer value for investors? How do they get their main goal as an exit or their money back as well from your company?
At this stage, what we are looking for, if I try to describe an ideal investor, yes, we don't dismiss the money and the euros. We would love to have investors who also put their commitment, open the doors, become part of our team and make this a brand. So in the short term, the return would be in dividends, and then together with the team that we are now putting together on the top of the initial founders, yes, then we will make the exit strategy, which is not formed yet.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any commitments on this 250,000 euros yet?
Sorry, what do you mean by commitment?
Like any investors who are already interested in joining the round?
Absolutely, we do. Yes, we do. We are doing several rounds here. So yes, adding up, hopefully to get it in the next month or two to that 250,000.
Mm-hmm. And just out of curiosity, the like production cycle, how many classes per month can you produce or will produce, and how does this work?
Yes. At this stage, our capacity with the workforce, with the machinery, with the premises and so forth is around 10,000 glasses per year. But we've learned it so that with very quick movements, we are not going to run out of workers there in Nairobi and in Kenya. And that's the drill we've been doing very, very much in the last 2 years. So we can ramp up it really, really quickly. But around at this stage, we would say 10 to 15,000 pairs of glasses per year.
Mm-hmm. This sounds amazing. Okay, it seems that all the investors are keeping their questions to the breakout rooms. So thank you very much, ShadeShare. And we're happy to have you here and afterwards in the breakout rooms as well.
Thank you.
Okay, the fourth startup in the row is Adovinci, and going into ad tech market. Kenneth, if you're ready, then you already have the slides up. If you could
ready.
Yes.
I hope everyone can hear me well.
Yeah,
hi.
hear and see you well.
Yeah, I'm Kenneth. I'm the CEO and the founder of Adovinci. Our vision is to build a global outdoor advertising network and to offer everyone outdoor advertising with a few clicks. So out of my own previous experience as a freelance digital media marketer, who sort of ventured into the out-of-home market by client request, we know today that the channel is very hard to access. Basically, none of it is online, so it's not possible to buy any of those screens and ad spaces online. It takes a lot of time to get campaigns running, and there's a big untapped opportunity because between 30 to 50% of that screen time is pretty much always unsold. The best analogy for DaVinci would be it's sort of like the booking.com for outdoor advertising, where you can get all screens from one location in the quickest, simplest, and most efficient way, but also in a fully automated fashion. Today on the platform, you select your screens, you upload your materials, you pay for the campaign, and then everything launches fully automatically. But in 2021, for example, we also want to automate the screens selection process as well. So the client has even less to do. They simply enter the target audience and the campaign is generated for them. In terms of the business model, we offer screen owners, the supply side, an automated sales solution with no active costs attached, so purely commission-based. And for the advertisers, we offer a one-stop shop for all of their outdoor advertising needs with no extra cost attached and with prices the same or at some points even better than directly from screen owners. In terms of the market overview, at an annual revenue of 8 billion per year, digital outdoor is the fastest growing traditional media channel in the world, growing at a 50% annual growth rate. And then the market has quadrupled in size over the last 10 years, with the primary driver here being the digitalization of those print outdoor ad spaces. In terms of the competition overview, what really differentiates DaVinci from the competition is that we focus exclusively on sales and software. We don't do any of the content management system or inventory side, which is very much a part of outdoor and what usually others have pieces attached to. But by not working with hardware, our scalability remains exponential. Besides that, we also put special emphasis on opening the market up to SMEs who today really don't use outdoor advertising at all, but who we see as a key part of our expansion strategy. In terms of the financials, this year COVID affected the market pretty massively. However, with the vaccine rolling out, the market is already rebounding and we are actually seeing a new invigorated emphasis on digitalizing that print inventory even faster, just to make everything more operational. In 2020, we saw an almost 4 times increase in our sales efficiency, achieving only 18.8% lesser results than last year in a very difficult market. But we did that with half as much time and half as many people. So the automation that we have done is starting to kick in and it works. Meanwhile, with the precarious market conditions that exist, that enabled us to aggressively expand our screens network size. Out of the largest screen networks in Estonia, which there are 5, 2 are already on the platform, 2 more have already agreed to sign up, and then so we have 1 more to wrangle down. And we also remarkably removed our gross margin and user growth. In terms of future drivers, besides the obvious continuous automation and planned expansion activities, we also have an ongoing cooperation with Bolt to launch a very exciting new outdoor advertising product on Bolt markets. Today, we're looking for 250K to boost our sales and marketing activities. We also want to expand ambitiously to Finland and Poland in the same year. That will be our first expansion out of Estonia, and of course, continuously further develop our products. And out of this amount, we have 100K and prior commitments already. In terms of the growth projection, then as the best case scenario, with the money that we're raising today, we want to launch we will launch two new markets in 2020 and aim to achieve 1 million plus in total sales. As the primary drivers here, we see that it's the first time that we're really going to invest into marketing, only marginal sums so far. Automation obviously kicking in continuously, team expansion with key competencies and talents. And also with our existing data, we see that we actually have very high customer loyalty and a steadily increasing deal size for returning customers, which is awesome. In terms of our go-to-market strategy, it's really simple, repeating what we've done in Estonia, compiling small networks into one first, which roughly make up sort of 1/3 of the market on average. We leverage that network to secure demand, and then once there's demand, that really enables us to more decisively talk to larger screen network owners as well to get coverage of the entire market. And lastly, in regards to the team, as the management team, me and Christo, who's actually right here besides me as well, our backgrounds are in marketing, web development before, and today we have a combined total of 4.5 years in outdoor marketing experience. Between the development team, there's 40 plus years of development experience in total in various roles. And we also have a rather active investor base in various mentorship and counseling roles. The most notable of them would be Risto Rossar, founder of Ainsley and also member of EstBAN. That's it from me. I'd be happy to see you in that breakout room.
Kenneth, thank you very much for the pitch. We don't have too much time for the questions. Okay, Mikk Korglan asks a question. Maybe you can understand it better, but Teatmik.ee doesn't support these great numbers presented. Can you explain, please?
Teatmik, what is he referring to? That is a good question. I'm trying to open up the...
So maybe Mikk, you can unmute yourself and then just ask it right away.
Yeah, okay. I heard great numbers like millions and etc. But where are these like seen? So proof.
Proof of market.
Yeah, it's what you're seeing now is today, part of today. That what was shown in the deck is the best case scenario growth projection with the money that we're raising today. Yes.
The question, quite interesting name, G Deaux, also your client?
Yes, it's JCDeco. Yes, JCDeco has onboarded to the platform already last basically a year ago now.
My question was, you brought out quite a remarkable hit from COVID-19. So do you see, and how do you see this solving right now?
Well, I mean, yeah, in general, of course, the market is rebounding due to the optimistic sort of situation with the vaccine rolling out. However, like I said, yeah, it did actually open up new growth avenues for us. All of a sudden, everyone had trouble with sales, which meant that we could advance so much quicker with our sort of negotiations with these screen owner partners. And we think that in the long term, it actually works in our favor since the sort of push to fully digitalize outdoor has been reinvigorated, because obviously just putting up a digital screen is not digitalizing the entire process from sales to servicing.
And do you have any, okay, Arko, do you, okay, you can read the question yourself as well, quite a long one. Client, new
yeah, JCDeco. Yes, absolutely. We actually already have we have the sort of intro at hand. I haven't done it yet. Towards the Finnish side, Finland actually boasts an interesting problem because there's so much inventory that agencies are pressing for this sort of solution to exist and have been pressing for it to exist for a few years now, which is great and works in our favor. And what needs to be done to get them on board in new countries, I suppose the best sort of greeting card would be great results here, and we've been steadily increasing our sort of deal sizes with JCDecaux in Estonia as well.
Okay, Kenneth, thank you very much. I hope that there is plenty of interest in the breakout room afterwards, and wish you luck from EstBAN side. So the fifth startup, I can see Puya here already in the line waiting. So if you are ready, I will remove the spotlight from Kenneth and provide this to you.
Sure, yeah, let me try, yeah.
So whenever you're ready, I will put the timer on and
so I'm ready.
Full screen. Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lutfi, co-founder of Cupid One. Cupid is a social recruiting platform. We democratize recruitment by enabling networks and communities. The problem we wanted actually to tackle is that it started actually with one question: how do you hire your next employee? Probably go after the job boards, so they have their own problems, costly, unreliable, and short term. So every single time you want it actually to do, you have to go with the job ad and pay more. Going with the stalking profiles on the LinkedIn, on the GitHub and other platforms, that is again time taking, unreliable, and low conversion. And you can go with the scrapers, and they are too complex, too tricky, low conversion, and short term. Probably there is something missing. Something actually could be fast, reliable, low cost, and long term. But we think actually the solution is in social recruiting from the networks and recommendations. Why? Because people around you are 2 times better at assessing a job for you than yourself. The solution would be democratizing the recruiting by leveraging social intelligence and network effects. And that would be high virality, low cost, more control, and also long-term. If we go actually with like a pathway we will have done actually in the history of the network recruiting, that was probably a startup way sooner than that. But when it just came to the modern organization, that started with the like mid-50 with the company bulletins, and it just went out with the company wallboards, and nowadays actually with the shout outs in the social media asking for the someone to refer them or just affiliate candidates for them. And now Cupid actually can take place for the future. What we are doing is that we are aggregating and consolidating almost everything in one place. The affiliate program, referral recruiting, assessment, drip campaigns, form G drives, campaign managers, analytics, and network reference checks. So that would be a desktop demo, which is, so you can start with the sharing the socials, assess the referee and the candidates, track the performance, and reward the affiliate. But that's too far easy because the platform is much more comprehensive. The market we are just targeting is that are the more than 400 million SMEs out there, including tech startups and recruiting agencies, and more than 600 million jobs to be created by the SMEs in next 15 years. And that is actually out of, that was actually prior to the pandemic. So you can do the math. The market size is something, the addressable market, more than $300 billion by the 2025. And the competition is almost like we are just defining a new category because that's something between the marketing and the recruiting. We have actually cross-check, which is also the seed stage startup. But the point doing here is that what we are actually competing is mostly the traditional way of the shoutouts. However, if you just go head to head with the comparing ourselves with the cross-check, we are far away in case of the technology with each other. We already have a built-in AI algorithm. We already actually partner with the OpenAI and GPT-3. We have actually a built-in CRM reference checks and an referral and affiliate recruiting, and already partner up with the a lot of job boards such as Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Monster, and LinkedIn. Well, the founders, me, myself, more than 6 years experience in DLG Electronics as a product manager, and later on as a business unit director. And I co-founded my own startup, online food ordering, that was acquired by the Rocket Internet. I joined the Rocket Internet as the ventures managing director and CEO. And I got my master in the Alto by co-founder also Aron. She's amazing in the AI algorithm, product design, and product itself. We were working together since 2015. And the go-to-market strategy, we focused on the US and Canada market, and we mostly actually go through the organic traffic, where CAC is so far almost less than €1. We actually started with the spending a little bit on the ads, and we just soon enough found out this is not a right place for us at the moment. So we just went through the SEO, webinars, newsletters, inbound magnets, and outreach. The revenue plan, actually, we are just suggesting is tier-based subscriptions. And we are already in the 42 countries, 200 companies. We are actually 42,000, the Alex orang in the US. And the MRR by this month, we reached to the more than 3.3 thousand euros MRR. And we got profitable by this month around the 19,000 operating profit. And we are looking for the pre-seed 200,000 euros for the enhancing our MVP, go-to-market strategy, and reach to the 50,000 MRR. And what we are raising for is that we wanted actually to just enhance the product and get it actually to the apps and bots and integration, and then new version of the product. And also in case of the operation, go with the improving our services and the sales funnels. And thank you for indulging me. Let's turn the communities and networks into the greatest source of the candidates channels together. Thank you.
Thank you, Puja, very much. That was an interesting deck here. Before we get to the questions in the chat, my question is, can you tell us a bit more about the customers that you already have, and how much revenue is one customer generating?
Since actually we started by middle of July, the company actually formed in during the pandemic. We launched the soft launch in the mid-July, and since then we got almost around more than 200 actually companies to serve. We started actually with the selling yearly subscription, then we developed the monthly subscriptions, and now we are actually within the campaign in the US with the AppSumo. We are offering long-term subscription with just very low amount, like the $60. But the campaign actually itself is just for giving us more feedback and let us actually get viral in the US, which is actually doing really great. But the average actually, it is too soon to tell, but CLV is something calculated more than 3,000 euros. And the subscription we are selling itself is around the 120 euros per month in average. I think, yeah, I tried actually to be clear. Did I?
Sure, maybe some examples of the customers at the moment.
Mostly actually we are now serving the recruiting agencies, pre-seed and seed stage startups. We have actually customers mostly in the US and the Canada, but we have in India, in the Malaysia, in the Austria, Netherlands, and Germany, and one recruiting agency also in Estonia. What else? Yeah.
The same questions that I had before when we talked. Meelis is asking that who are your competitors? Name at least two, please.
I tried actually to say that. So firstly, I think the main competitors is the way people actually go shout out in the social media, especially in the LinkedIn and somewhere in the Twitter. But if we go with the product, we have the cross-check and also we have the skill survey. They mostly actually fell down to the background checking and also reference checking rather than to be a network recruiting. But yeah, I think actually that's a kind of a little bit new category because the rise of actually like the costing in job boards and job ads is just pushing the companies to find a new way and also even a better way to just source the candidates.
Sure, I had one more question in the back of my head. About the planned burn rate, perhaps. So at the moment you have 2 people working, or how big is your team and how big is the burn rate at the moment if you say that you're profitable already?
The team actually is a combine of 4 from the AI to the back end, front end, and also business and operation. But we do actually everything. I do actually coding with the front. Also, I designed the product in UX by myself as well. So we do everything actually we can do. Yeah, our burn rate is almost around less than 2,000 euros at the moment. Sometime actually fell down less than 1,000 euros. But yeah, basically it's like that.
All right. Well, okay. Seems that all the questions will be asked in the breakout rooms. Thank you, Puya, very much for your...
Anu,
yes?
sorry, I am interrupting you here. Hello, Puya. It's so nice to see you. And I am so happy that you are delivering this pitch deck today. I wanted to say, and actually we had a small discussion with Puya before this pitch deck event, that I am actually amazed because JetCell Technologies was client of UpLegal. UpLegal is a member of EstBAN now. And this was among our first startup clients, actually. So, and what I have seen, and maybe this is not a question, but more like a comment to them, is actually I am amazed about your growth during the past month. We have been working together since January. And when you arrived in Estonia, you were very professional, persistent, workable, intelligent, smart. And they got their company up and running and living residence permits here and everything only in May. It was due to the COVID and it was difficult times. We got everything. And already by September, they had turnover. This was last time we spoke with, so I think it was in September, yes. Now I hear again that you already have a profit, yes? You already have US clients. So it is maybe just a comment for the investors who are hearing it today, that what I have seen is that the founders are really experienced, professional. You didn't mention during your pitch deck that actually you have done startup in Dubai already. Yes, so it's just a comment for the potential interested investors that this is really amazing team, totally worth investing. So that's it.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
That was a great commercial break here as well. Maria, thank you from your side. It's always great to have some comments from the network towards the startup. Okay, and Puya, thank you as well once more. So, and we were planning to have one more startup called Swash, but unfortunately they are not joining us today. But at the moment, I will be opening the breakout rooms for all of the 5 startups that we had. And I'm not even kindly asking, but I'm asking all the investors who are in here to choose at least one startup and join their breakout room. You should have an opportunity to select those rooms already. So at the moment there's 5: Doubt, Baltec, ShadeShare, Adovinci, and QPage. All the investors, I think there might be some 40 of you in the room or in the call still. So go to the startups room. This is very, how to say, freestyle networking and freestyle asking questions, talking about their startup. I really hope that you find the place to join those breakout rooms. So you have to find such small squares, like 4 small squares from the Zoom room, and you should be able to join those. At the moment, I still see that nobody's moving. I see that the startups are in the rooms, and the shade share let me have you. Am I doing something wrong, or you're not just moving yet?
You mean by moving?
Moving to the breakout rooms. With shade share, I will have Jan-Erik, you going into the...
Okay, let's have a look. Sorry, a bit slow here. Join.
No, don't worry.
Yep. Yep.
Shade share. And for all of the investors, please move into the breakout rooms as well, ask questions, share feedback. Okay, Katja says that no square is coming. Let me see if there is an just a second. Breakout rooms. You should be able to choose the room to go to, but it's not. Just a second. Let me try to close those. Anybody help with those breakout rooms? Yes, Ivo said no opportunity. Let me see if there's a setting that I can add. Just you can someone can make a fun joke in between when I'm. It just worked before. 13 more seconds that I can just. So now is the time for the Christmas carols, isn't it? Options. Allow. Okay, now it is. There you go. Open all rooms. How about now? Can you see the opportunity to join the rooms? Say yes or no. Yes, 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 yes. Maria, you should be looking for squares, like 4 squares, somewhere on the Zoom page, basically. 4 ruudukest, sellist valged ruudukesed, and then you can choose which room you would like to join. Okay, good. So basically, I kindly ask all the investors to choose at least one startup and go to their room. And if the conversation over there is ended for you, or you have all your questions answered, you can come back here or choose another room to go. So basically, what you're looking for is 4 white squares or a small Windows kind of place that you can click and then choose the room. Can I help someone? Maria, you look so lost. Maria, which room you would like to go to? You're muted, but let me unmute. Ask to unmute.
Yes, thanks. Thank you. Can you just direct me to those 4 white squares?
So this should be on the screen.
On the screen.
Or be like on alumise riba peal, musta riba peal sellised 4 ruudukest. See peaks olema selle asja nimi breakout rooms.
Mina samamoodi nagu ei näe.
Aga te võite mulle öelda, kuhu te sooviksite minna, siis ma saan teid kohe niimoodi siit tšupsti panna.
Mina võtaks Shadesharesi.
Jah, juba ongi. Nii.
Ja Valduri võiks panna Ado Vincisse.
Ado Vinci. Kohe. Valdur. Ado Vinci. Nii, mul on siin veel, näiteks Sulev on mul järgmine siin ees. Kas Sulev, ma võin sind saata mõnda ruumi?
Nii, nüüd on vist kuulda. No, Paultek näiteks.
Yes, kohe leian su siit ülesse ja panen Paultek. Nii, läks. Anyone else that I can guide to the room? Robert here still?
Peeter äkki saaks panna Paulteki.
Paultek, ütle uuesti keda?
Peeter, Kruusvall.
Peeter, jah. Paultek, yes.
Pane mind ka sinna Paulteki.
See oli Robert praegu, kes rääkis minuga ja panen Paulteki, yes. Nii, looks like we're almost done. Anyone else?
Kas sa saaksid mind sinna põllumajandusse panna?
Yeah, põllumajandus, Paultek. Nii, looks like Paultek has some active questioning and answering up there. Nii, mul on siin veel Arko, Lev, Joel, Gert ja Randu. Kas ma tohiks teid kellegagi ühendada? Võite mulle siia... Arko kirjutab Ado Vinci.
Mul kõik hästi. Ära mind kuhugi saada.
Ei pane sind kuhugi.
Jah, aitäh.
Nii, Arko panin Ado Vincisse siin. Thanks for your time. Nii, okei. Kui rohkem siin soovijaid ei ole, siis ma panen omale Christmas Carolit peale ja...
samal ajal. Aga see IP seal taga ongi just see, et seal taga on kalkulatsioonid. Et see, kuidas sellest andmetest, mida me mõõdame, et elektrit väärtus, kuidas me saame anda selle toitainete taseme väärtusega. Ja see ongi see suur saladus selles asjas, et mis on meil on vahekiht, kus toimivad need arvutused nendest toorandmetest, ehk siis tuleb see saadaolev andmed. Ja sellepärast me olemegi nagu rääkinud nende advokaatidega just selle IP osas ja selle patendi osas, et kuna on juba olemas kasulik mudel sellele asjale võetud, no siin on 99 äkki või 2000 või ma aastaga võin eksida. Ja siis see tähendab seda, et kuna see kasulik mudel on olemas, siis see